Right everyone, so today I'm going to go over some replay of Runick Spright versus Runick Spright. This is the mirror match of like Schmidt's deck basically. So we're going to start off, I win the roll. So I draw phase again just to play around draw. I know what I'm playing against, I know like take us through what I'm playing against. And I know he doesn't play draw because he's on the same list, but it's just good practice. So spelling into Hugens is then going to pitch destruction to search fountain, and then basically what this is lined up for is now I've got the fountain and I pitched destruction because basically flash and fire is better into the majority of the meta if you go in first, and slumber can be used on the Hugen right now to trigger a fountain for a draw 3 if we didn't have the blue, so it's always like a good idea to have that set up. But obviously now, the idea is you want to get all the cards out of your deck before you draw. So blue into Jet into the only starter of the deck, then into Gigantic. Gigantic resolves, and this is obviously the live twin, so we're doing the live twin combo that I was doing like a couple of weeks ago. So we're just getting all this stuff out of the deck before we draw. Right now we're at a position where you could, right, there you go. You could make sprint here first to send the blue, but then that would shut off your extra monster zones. This is why I'm doing this now. And if we draw the blue, we play multiple blue, so it's fine. Fountain for three draws. Obviously draw the blue here. Normal summon the blue. I did declare its effect, but you can't do that because you've got control of the monsters. So this basically means that we don't have to go the sprint line now. Can go straight into the IP. So they make IP. They make the kiss kill, bring back blue, bring back red, get a draw. And then obviously that's supposed to be there to set up the Griffin plate, and then the start's supposed to be set, which I passed turn before, which we don't talk about that. Right now, let's have a look. How is he going to break this board? So this IP is actually applying a lot of pressure, and it warrants a flash and fire / freezing curses almost instantly. So there's no point really waiting for them to use the IP because you don't have Kurikara. You could draw into it, but you're going to have to chain the flash and fire anyway, and the only way that it would be useful is if you use the freezing curses and then Kurikara later on. So let's see how this goes down. So flash and fire on the IP as predicted. Great idea. I think that's the best one to do. The only problem now is they don't have fountain in rotation, and they've drew 2 blue, so that's actually 1 dead card going into a board. Carrot isn't particularly good into a board either. You'd rather have like a twin into this board because it gives you 2 bodies, but no, we'll go on. So slumber here, I chain starter into red because I'm just trying to cut off fountain access at this point. Obviously effect, tribute a twin, and then this is all over, but he's got the freezing curses on the red, which is good, but I've got the freezing curses on the Hugen, so now there's 3 Runick cards in the grave without a fountain. A card's gone from hand, it's discarded blue, so it's probably blue in hand as well, so you know that. The only unknown at this moment in time is Carrot, and I've got destruction and flash and fire, and a draw off the frost, and possibly 3 off the fountain, so it's looking pretty good. Yeah, here, so now all I'm trying to do is just cut them off from the Gigantic. I get the draw there, and just so I've got the flash and fire to stop like as soon as the overlay for Gigantic. But yeah, there's not much you can do here. That's probably the best play because you got the carrot up. You get the frost draw there as well. The carrot to play around the flash and fire on the Gigantic. It makes the Gigantic flash and fire again. Carrot's got tribute, but then now I get a draw. I just opted for a draw 2 here because I couldn't really see a point where I was going to get the destruction because I thought they were going to use the starter and try and push. But yeah, still draw 2, draw into a tip, which is ridiculous. They started into the red. They were supposed to start into the red there. It's just too much. I mean, look at the situation we've got here. We've got 5 in hand, 5 in field versus their 3, and have literally got nothing. It's a matter of time. So admit defeat. Go into game 2. Decided Put Bestials in against the Live Twins, just wanted to try them out. He put the Bestials in going first, but you get locked in the starter straight away. So he goes normal the blue into the red and drops the extender, overlays into Gigantic. Still got the Flash and Fire and the Destruction in hand. Personally, I probably would have done it this way as well, because you can't use the Runics first because you've got the condition that the Live Twin has to be the only one on the field, so he detaches that. The red one, fair enough. You want to keep this red one up so you can make the red first, then make the blue, then summon back the red and get the draw. So it's good. Starters, again, doing all this stuff, getting all the fluff out the deck before we draw. Destruction here. That's questionable. I don't know why we're pitching that. I think you should have pitched the Druid Swarm instead. Think he might change his mind actually later on. So now we just got no Runick. I think I'd rather have a Flash and Fire in my hand that gives myself a draw 2 than a Druid Swarm, because it's like a Flash and Fire is the same, like a good interruption, and then you get a draw 2, so I think that's a misplay. Right, so let's go on how I'm going to crack this board. So we've got tips good into Flash and Fire here, I suppose, but let's have a look. I think there's quite a lot. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. I thought he'd done this, so he decided that was the best. So we let him off, and he realised that he starter lock himself as well. But he could have just done this starter in his own turn, so there was no reason for this to happen. Because if he was always going to bring out the carrot anyway, then fair enough. But you know, we'll move on. So tipping in the fountain here, I did consider tipping a Flash and Fire, but the thing is with the fountain is you can protect the fountain with any other Runic card. I want him to use other stuff because it's got Kurikara. Because obviously if you activate a fountain and they go current, negate, tribute, and a monster, it does destroy the field spell. But if you've got a Runic to summon huge and defend it, it's fine. So that was the idea behind that. So yeah, so it's basically it's quite tough for them to actually deal with a fountain outside of Smashers, but they Jet Search for starters, so it's okay. But obviously there's the hard Drew Smashers set that I don't know about, and that's going to be the kicker of the game, I think. So yeah, so we search into the fountain, obviously banish the top one, and they get the Frost Draw as well. Then that was in the battle phase. Then go into the Jerry into the IP, lose aid, kill that, and then fountain, slumber, and then this way I've set myself up for a draw 3, and I've used my Runic card to out stuff. I didn't want to discard anything from my hand off the Hugin, but I did end up trying to chain block the wings anyway by discarding a red, because trying to play around the Ash that he did have. So that was correct in the end, but there's no way I could have got the red on the field to stop the Ash, so it's a bit rough. But yeah, the fountain gets smashed here, and the game's are wraps. I tried to force out the any sort of possible play to get a Kurikara off here, but there wasn't anything in it for me. And then obviously the Flash and Fire on the IP in the end phase is wraps. So again, game he's got a bit more of a chance. He's got 4 Runic cards and the fountain already, and the Kurikara, so just the standard sort of board here. Jetting a star into blue into red. Say fluff out the deck. Gigantic here before dropping the red, so I play around it without having to tribute for the red. Can only fountain for 2, but get 2 more Runics, that's good. Sprained, red, blue, red. Get a draw, so I've got the red negate and destroy, a pop, a draw, another draw, and then a draw 3 off fountain and the Ash, so it's looking pretty good. So activates fountain first, goes into a tip, then Flash and Fire, destruction on the fountain. That was a really good play because I actually can't stop it. Tries to draw off the fountain, I hit him with the Ash. Freezing Curse into that, try and get into another fountain, red negates, and it's game over. So that was unfortunate because it was just the Ash on the fountain and not getting them into the more engine. It cost the game there, so it's pretty rough. But yeah, anyway, that's how the mirror match goes. It's about, like, if you can destroy the fountain with destruction, it's pretty good. If you can stop the fountain before they get into engine, once it's into engine, it's pretty much over. But yeah, it's one of those decks that's very, very hard to crack the board going second, especially if you don't just like trigger your twins randomly, because if you do that, you're just playing in the Kurikara, which can be devastating because obviously one twin brings back the other and then that has the effect, so it's game over. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Cheers, take care.